So I thought this would be helpful tonight. I want to talk about creating a reliable system, which is how to do the work, meaning your nutrition targets, your exercise targets, your habitual targets, how to do the work when motivation is nowhere to be found. So if you want a reliable system, then it makes sense to ask, what's this unreliable system we kind of all might be participating in? So the unreliable system is really when motivation is high, right? We're really motivated to do stuff and meal prep and hit our goals and take that extra step. But then when motivation's low, we typically don't show up really at all. And that pattern kind of ends up over time undoing the efforts that you did the day prior. So you're kind of undoing your work when you're relying upon motivation to take action. So what this looks like over time is kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of situation where you're just walking in a circle and going nowhere. And you really can spend your entire life here, right? Because if you rely on motivation alone, you're not going to engage in the work consistently enough to achieve your goal. Because we know, we've said this so many times, right? Consistency is really king, and consistency is better than perfection because there's no such thing as perfection. So this unreliable system is really what we want to kind of get rid of and hop on board with this reliable system, which is what I want to talk about tonight. So what this looks like, instead of just doing things when motivation's high and not doing things when motivation's low, when motivation's high, we do the work we need to do today, but we also take it upon ourselves to do a little bit of extra work for your future, maybe less motivated self, okay? So that way, when motivation's low in the future, you can still do the work because you prepared for it ahead of time. So what this looks like over time is achieving your goal absolutely 100% in the fastest time frame possible because you're being consistent, you're taking action. So this essentially at the end of the day is making the work you need to do easier and making the work you don't want to be engaging in harder. So you literally spend more time doing the work. So how do we create this? So 2 things here. So when motivation's high, we all have those days where we're like on fire, right? And it's super easy to do the work. Then you want to set up your future self for success in 2 ways. So 1, we want to create green lights. And 2, we want to create roadblocks. So green lights are making way for the things you want to be doing, making it easier. Because as humans, we always take the path of least resistance. So you can use this fact to your favor when you want to make, what you need to be doing as streamlined and frictionless as possible. It really will make it so much easier to do the thing. So some green lights might be, going and getting a workout done. Maybe you have a 3 or 4 day per week workout. Like, don't take a rest day on that day. Go crush a workout. Hit your targets early, log them all early. Maybe prep a little bit for the future, create some meals, prep some meals, pre-log some meals, go a little bit above and beyond in that department. You can wash your clothes, get your laundry laid out. You could plan it for the whole week if you wanted to, right? Make as many things green lighted as possible. And then secondly, creating some simple roadblocks, right? If it's really easy to be nibbling on the munchy things that you're trying to avoid, eating, don't have them out. That's a friction. Now you have to go out of your way to go get them. So roadblocks would be anything that would make what you don't want to be doing just a bit harder to get to. So you have to put in more effort to do the thing. So some roadblocks when you're highly motivated could be just simply cleaning out your kitchen, getting rid of some stuff that you've been meaning to get rid of, removing some trigger foods that you've been meaning to do, setting up like time limits on things. Maybe you struggle with your phone or spending too much time on the screen or forgetting to go to bed on time, right? You can set alarms, you can set timers to snap you out as a pattern interrupt of things that you typically kind of get lost in doing. You can get rid of time wasters and really kind of go above and beyond in thinking about what are some of the things that kind of always get in my way. How can I, remove those things or set up roadblocks to make it less easy to engage in those things? Make sense? Cool. And then you get to just use that reliable system. So once you're in the habit of being like, oh, I'm motivated today. Like I don't need to do all these things, but let me do them. That's the reliable system you're engaging in. And then you just get to use that reliable system When motivation's low and it's really hard to do the work, then you can rely on your green lights and kind of just coast, and you don't have to do anything extra, and you can just enjoy it. And you can just let your roadblocks do their job, right? If you're too tired and motivation's low and you don't really want to put any extra effort anyway, then you're not going to put in the extra effort to do the things that you've blocked yourself from doing, right? So that's an example of how you can use that reliable system. And then you can screenshot this. You guys have access to this guide in your companion course as well, but you can screenshot it, write it down, jot it down, or just later in a journal kind of, do this homework, if you will, is just write down a bunch of green lights, which are solutions that remove or significantly reduce the friction between the things that you're wanting to take action on consistently. So basically, what are some things you would like to make easier that you want to get more consistent in? And how can you make those things easier to do? So make a big list, and you even remove the friction of having to think about these things on your high motivation day. Just when you're highly motivated, you run to your list and you're like, I want to do that one, I want to do that one, I want to do that one. And you just knock them out. And then your roadblocks, same thing. Make a large list of some things that you find yourself consistently doing that you don't want to be doing. And you can come up with some solutions to add or significantly increase the friction between you taking those actions you're wanting to stop taking. So basically, how can you make the things you're trying not to do harder to do? Okay. And then this is when you've accomplished your reliable system, when you have it and it's subconscious, is when all of a sudden doing the work becomes easier than not doing the work. And this really does build over time, and you will find yourself in this amazing loop of enjoying your reliable system. It's not going to be all labor sim forever. What you do determines whether or not you reach your goal, the actions you do or don't take. So by creating this reliable system and practicing it until it's automatic, you're setting yourself up for a much easier, much faster time at doing the things you want to be doing and avoiding the things you want to that you want to stop doing. Thank you so much for watching. We truly hope you enjoyed that lesson. So every single week we make room for one guest spot on these support calls. So if you'd like the opportunity to attend, ask questions, receive coaching, just hit the link in the description box, or you can head over to gainslinger.com/coach me. Once again, that's Gainslinger, GAINSLINGER.com/coach me, all one word. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you next week.